For this menu assignment, I chose to demonstrate human or sighted guide. According to our TAPS textbook, the correct terminology to use now is called guided technique. The technique is used by a person with a visual impairment to get around an area that is new or crowded for safety and comfort in contact with another person. Another reason this guided technique can be used is if the person is new to cane uses. There are two different techniques that can be used when doing the guide technique. The first is just the regular guide technique, where the guided person walks 1/2 step behind the person that is guiding for safety. The other is called the narrow passage guide, and this is where the guided person walks 1 step directly behind the guide. When using either of these techniques, the person guiding should always ask the person needing or with visual impairment needing assistance if they need assistance. Once that this is established, tell them that you are going to gently touch the back of their hand with your hand, so then they can find out where you are and gently cup your arm by your elbow in a C-like fashion, like you're holding a cup, and that way they can feel everything that you are going to be doing. And again, that is at the elbow. You can use a visual like a cup or a soda can to help get that. It should be loose but firm. The guide needs to keep their arm in a natural pose while guiding this person, and that is just so that both can feel comfortable while doing this. With the guided person holding onto your elbow, they will be able to feel the movements of stepping and stopping when needed. If and when you ever come to a narrow passage, the guided person or the guiding person needs to just gently put their arm behind their back in towards the center, and then the guided person can take a step back behind, so that way they are in a narrow passage. Remember that the most important thing about this is not only safety, but that the guiding person tells what is around the area. So this could be like there's a step coming up, or there's a table on the right hand side, there's, we're making a left hand turn. That way the guided person is not surprised when things come up, start, stop. In the following clip, my nephew Brady is learning how to use this guide technique. He was very nervous when we started. We actually did practice just once right before we did the video, and he was very nervous. But just a little bit of coaxing, he was able to do the technique, I think, beautifully. He cut my elbow with that C, and he was very gentle. When he guided me, he forgot a couple of times to tell me what was coming up or where we were, with a few prompts both from me and his mom. As you will hear in the video, he did a magnificent job. When I was asking him and the rest of my family for some help, he volunteered because, one, he just loves his Aunt Cheryl, but for two, he does have a few students in his school with visual impairments that I just happened to see. So he thought this would be a neat way that if they ever needed help, he could help them. So this video was taken in his house. There are no stairs. We did start and stop a few times. We had a narrow passage between the dining room table and the buffet that is there, as well as his dog cage. So he does very good of doing all of these things that were asked to him. Alright, so with sighted guide or human guide, you cut the person's hand with a C, like you're holding a soda can, there you go. And you hold their elbow, alright? So we can walk side by side, like you want to be my friend, not leading, not following behind. Now otherwise, you doing okay? Alright, so when we get into a narrow space, your hand can go behind you and then you walk behind the person. Okay, so we're going to come up just a little bit farther and we're going to make a left hand turn. Okay, we're going around your mom's table. We are coming up to the buffet. Can you feel it with your right hand? Okay, we are walking one behind the other because we both will not fit there. Natty's cage is there on your right. So you see how this is done? Do you feel it? All right. So do you think you're ready to lead me? I think you're ready to lead me. What do you think? Want to try it?
Yeah.
Okay. So remember, you're leading Aunt Cheryl.
I'm not hitting you in anything.
Yeah. Did Aunt Cheryl hit you into anything?
The cage is lighted.
But did you listen to me?
Yes, but I mean.
Okay. So we have my hand in a C, right, around your elbow. Okay. So where are we going?
Right hand turn.
Right hand turn. Okay. Well, I just hit something. What did I hit?
Hit the chair.
The chair. Okay.
Right hand turn.
Right hand turn. Okay.
Keep talking to Aunt Cheryl. Tell her what's around her.
Right hand turn. Okay.
For the trash can.
Trash can on the left. Good job.
Watch out for the fridge on your left.
Okay.
Turn right.
Turn right. Okay.
Oh, we still
All right.
going?
Where are we going?
Around the.
Table in the buffet?
Yep.
All right. Remember, there you go. Good job. You put your
Watch
hand.
out for the buffet on the right and the chairs on the left.
Okay. I felt the chair. Oh, I felt them both.
For
Okay.
making a left turn, watch out for Natty's cage and a chair on your left.
Okay. I felt it. Good job putting your arm behind you,
Watch out
so I knew where to
the
go.
fridge on the right.
Okay. Are we back to our starting point?
Yeah.
All right. Good job. Thank you, Brady.
Good job.
As you saw in the clip I just played, that we did have to remind Brady to tell us where we were going. That is something that the guided person might have to be telling the guide, as the guide is not always trained like the guided person is. As a TVI and a future COMS, I like to think of different ways that we can incorporate this and help our students or clients learn what we need to do. So think games like red light, green light, or freeze tag are good ways to practice this. Another thing to keep in mind is that if the guided person is taller than the guiding person, then instead of always using their elbow, you can use the shoulder, especially in a narrow passage, or if the guiding person has their hands full and trying to help the guided person. These are just some little things to keep in mind, and I hope it helps. Thanks so much.